I had no clue what I wanted to do. And that I feel like I took away from myself because I rushed into choosing a uni course.
In uni, at least in my course, they put the harder subject in the first year compared to like enjoyable subjects.
What? You create your own success. You can't rely on anyone else for it.
They said, well, you need to up your grades because you're not going to get in, even though I do have the skills for it.
Everything's laid out for you in school. Thinking about it now, to go back and write, 300 words for an assignment? Are you serious? I could do that for work now in like an hour.
I knew I wanted it, but just because I couldn't get the marks, I couldn't do it. There is always a way.
Especially at that age, to be able to, buy what you want, do what you want, not have to worry about money.
Is there one thing you want to, that young person that might be watching, you want to say to them? Guys, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself. Start with you, Joe.
So my name's Joe. I'm in the business development team here at Martian Logic. So this is my first, I guess you could say, real job aside from, jobs here and there, casual work, casual employment. But yeah.
All good. Donald?
My name's Donald. I'm in the implementation team. First real job as well, besides casual or part-time in other jobs. So
Okay. So, I want to talk about your journey as a young person. Take me back to high school. High school, at high level, would you say you had, you liked school, you didn't like school, was it okay, was crap? How would you describe that?
Depends what year you're asking me this in. Because obviously, as you go more through school, you understand why you actually go to school. So at first, obviously, everyone's a little bit, boring. But I thought school was good because it taught me a lot. I obviously learned a lot academically, but as well just around, respecting your elders and just having respect for people that are teaching you things. And
Okay, that's interesting. Never thought of it like
discipline
that.
as well. But also, great friendships from school. My best friends are from school. Had a lot of great men.
Yeah. And when you say school, that's both school and high school.
Mainly high school, I would say. Mainly high school.
Okay. What was the, give us an example of something that you hated.
I wouldn't say there was anything I really hated. Maybe certain subjects I chose to take I wasn't the biggest fan of them when it actually came to...
Yeah. Donald, school for you, the whole establishment, the concept of a school where you've got this boss being the principal, whatever, and all these teachers who are your bosses in a sense as well. I mean, did you like that structure, or did you feel like, I wish I could just be at home or at the park playing with kids? Or how do you feel about school? And
honestly, school is all right. It treated me well, plus I treated it as well. But I think sometimes school, the way I see it now, is missing teaching like life stuff, like tax, money, all that stuff. Like it does teach you academics, but like mainly life skills they're missing out on. But yeah, that's why I learned most of that from my dad as well. But otherwise, school is okay.
Okay.
I agree with that, to be honest. I think there could be so much more planning how to save money, finances, and what, taking care of bills and things like that actually looks like. Communication skills, maybe how to speak with people, how to interview for a job, something like that.
So looking back at the school, you're saying that the structure of a school right now, you think it's still okay for the modern world right now? It hasn't become outdated?
No, still okay. Just I think more lifestyle skills for the future for kids.
Just the courses, the nature of what you're learning can be updated.
Yeah.
But the structure still relevant, you said. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. I think, everyone's experience is different, and that would obviously influence they look at it. But yeah, for me, I think the structure.
Okay.
Well,
How about uni? The whole concept of going from high school to uni as well. Did you feel there was some frustration there in terms of the options that you want to do and how you've got to be get certain scores to be able to do certain things and stuff? Do you think that is fair, and is that outdated? Or
honestly, that's outdated because, like, say for me, example, I'm good at designing and stuff, like architect stuff, but because I didn't get the ATAR I needed, I couldn't get into that. That's why I went to
you didn't get
the ATAR, like the final high school.
ATAR, for someone who isn't Australian, what's an ATAR?
ATAR is your final result of your exams in your Year 12 last year. It's like compilation and averaged out amongst your cohort as well.
Okay. And the point you were making, the frustrating part from your point of view was?
If you don't get an ATAR you want, sometimes this courses in uni, you need a specific ATAR. If you don't get that, you can't get in. And that might be something you're really good at, but just because of that ATAR, you can't get in.
Okay. And I guess we're lucky in Australia, aren't we, in terms of we do have options and you don't need a lot of money to be able to get into good unis, right? Compared to a lot of countries. I say it in every humble way.
Yeah.
We are very lucky, aren't we, in general?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, our system, I'm sure we can improve a lot on it, but relatively speaking, to almost any other country in the world, we are in the top few or 5 or 6. I mean, they cite also Sweden or some countries where the education system is free and amazing as well or whatever. But we're pretty good, right?
Pretty good, yeah. Because
how much did your course, what did you study and how much did you have to pay in total for it?
I studied IT. I think about 50K.
What's the degree name? Was called IT?
Oh, Bachelor of IT, yeah.
Bachelor of IT?
Yep.
Huh. And how many years?
3-year course. Took me 4 years.
That's cool.
Because of COVID, so I took a part-time for a year.
And what was the total? How much did that set you back? What was the total cost of that course?
50, 60K, give or take.
And how many years do you have now to pay them back? They just take them out of your pay?
Take amount, like set amount. So right now, if you're between a threshold, it's like a certain percent, 5%, 10%. It goes up by 5%.
So let's say if you're earning $200,000-$300,000, they might be taking $15,000 a year or something. Like chunk, $20,000 a year.
Could be a bit more. I think on electrical, yeah.
So percentage. That's really cool.
Yeah.
To make sure you still have money in your pocket to survive and live.
Yeah.
And let's say you lose a job and you don't work for 10 years, they're not going to bankrupt you.
No, they don't take it.
That's unbelievable. That's really good. We're really lucky, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. So you decided to do a degree in IT and you did it, you've completed it, and you got the job in here. Joe, we will go through the journeys right now for each of you, at least for 15 minutes. That's a big part of what we want to talk about. Joe's journey was different. Started uni, decided it's not for me, went to look for work and ended up working here. So we want to talk about both journeys. Let's start with Joe.
Yeah.
Take us through that journey from when you were sort of year 11, 12 and until you're here sort of thing.
Well, I kind of wanted to chop into what Donald was saying just before about, I guess, that pathway to uni. It's a very stressful time. Very stressful time for year 12 kids that don't know what they want to do. And I think it's quite ambitious to expect a fresh 18-year-old, still a teenager at that point, right? Like to know what they want to do with their life and commit to a financial commitment, as well as something that's going to take a lot of your time and going to be a strain on, it's not just going to be something that happens in the background, going to uni and spending that however many years you spend there. So to know what you want to do and then go and do that. So for me, I had no clue what I wanted to do. No clue at all. I knew I wanted to do something in business, whether that was whatever that was.
You always knew it's going to be something to do with business?
Well, yeah. And I mean, that reflected on my degree. So my degree initially was business analytics and economics. So I thought that was a good segue into the business world, not really knowing what, different pathways there were or different roles that I could, chase, I guess you could say at that time. But yeah, as you said, it wasn't for me. I think it was one semester. And then after that, I came here and haven't looked back. But so that's kind of me.
So you started the course,
yeah.
And after how many weeks you decided it's not for you?
I don't know if it was a full semester, but it was after a couple of months, I would say.
But take it through that. What does it mean, not for me? The course, the environment?
Well, look,
the whole uni environment? What wasn't for you?
Yeah, look, I regret it, to be honest, because I feel like uni's a really good thing, right? Everyone you speak to has had at least one amazing experience from uni, whether that be a party they went to or maybe friends they made or someone they met or, a really cool professor or teacher or whoever, is taking their course or something like that. And that I feel like I took away from myself because I rushed into choosing a uni course. And that uni course really, I respect that that's, people's profession out there, but it wasn't for me personally. It wasn't what I was interested in. There was a lot of content, whatever the reasons are. But yeah, I wish I had the time to think. I did have the time, but I didn't take it to think about maybe I can do something I'm interested in at uni, and then really get to enjoy all the things that come with uni, you know, sport, friendships, you know, as I said before, the things that you experience at uni that are really stick in your mind as core memories. So.
And so you might have already mentioned it. So why did you then, why did you make that decision? That's it, I have to stop. I can't keep doing this. It must have been something strong. What was it? What was the thing that...
Well, I don't think there was a real defining moment for me. I think it was more just I saw it becoming unrealistic and something I would be very unhappy about as I went through the course.
Tell us what that means.
Yeah.
What's unrealistic?
As in, what I'm not interested in this. I'm thinking in my head,
it's just not enjoyable.
No, I'm not enjoying
work. It shouldn't be hard work.
I'm not intrigued by anything I'm learning about. It's not for me. There was things that were amazingly interesting, and I, you know, absorbed all.
How can it be? Because you're a very intelligent person, and by the sound of it, that course you could be learning so many interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Is it then a delivery system? Maybe they start with difficult stuff, and you need a few months before you start to see, oh, is that why I'm learning that? They could have maybe positioned it differently, brought some of that enjoyable stuff about why you're learning this maybe a bit earlier to get you some feel to it. You go, oh my gosh, this is cool. I'll be able to know this, and therefore I need to maybe learn that difficult stuff. Maybe the way it was delivered, or maybe you were going through some stuff yourself personally that you weren't in a good place to be in that environment. I mean, which one is it?
If I'm being honest, they did everything you just said. It was, if that course was for me, I would have eaten it up. They did everything they could. They used, for example, a case study in economics about a music festival to get people engaged. You know, there was engaging stuff, but the way I was looking at it is, if I'm not enjoying this right now, yes, it's interesting, but do I want to spend 4 years on something that's interesting as opposed to something that can get me a job and something? Well, you get what I'm trying to say.
Something's still missing.
Yeah. Okay.
Donald, can you jump into this? Do you see something still missing there? Like, I don't feel we're gotten to the bottom of why.
I don't know. It just wasn't, because
it like, it didn't click with you? Or maybe like, you don't see, compared into 4 years of studying, you could be doing something else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it wasn't something that I really wanted to do.
So if had it been a better course, a different course, you could have stuck.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right, a choice of course. You rushed into it.
Yeah.
Again, that's why you're saying that process was stressful, pressure, not enough options, and people end up doing things that they don't really love. Yeah. I mean, this is really powerful. This whole podcast, and even 1,000 other podcasts could be about this very topic. One of the reasons why so many people are doing courses and they are not excited about them. They're going with the motion. Yeah. Oh, because of my visa, I have to study. Oh, because that's the only option that I had because of my ATAR. My grades allowed me. Oh, because of financial situation. Because people putting up with stuff. I mean, that is sad.
Yeah.
That should never be like that. So maybe your decision was something that maybe people should be celebrating. Yeah. It's the right thing to do.
And like, I mean, anyone, if you put it in perspective, can understand where, like, the point I'm making is, like, if you think about you're in your final year of school, all that's been talked about for the last 2 years is uni. And then you're surrounded by a bunch of kids who are like, I know what I want to do. I'm going to go do engineering or architect. It's like you're sitting there like, hold on, am I less of a person because I don't know what to do? Like, am I not as smart as these people? Or that it pressures you, like hearing that all these people have got, they're locked in on what they want to do, and you're in your brain, you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. Why am I so different to everyone?
Oh my God.
So it just look, I don't want to go into it too much,
but
I feel
so
like
there's
pressure from schools to universities, and then people end up in bad financial situations.
To me, the most interesting point so far in this podcast. Can you please talk about your experience with that point about how we felt a bit, inadequate or incomplete or not good enough because he's not sure what he wants to do, and all these people are so confident and sure of themselves or what they're doing. You go, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Can you please speak to that yourself?
Yeah. So back in uni, I will backtrack a bit to your point where they can't do what they want. So back in uni, in my experience, in the first year, they do the harder subjects to weed out the students that can't do it. So if you can't do it, then usually they change course or they leave uni.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, that's right. So in uni, at least in my course, they put the harder subject in the first year compared to like enjoyable subjects.
What?
That's to weed out students that
serious students, the nerds versus the real people. Humans. Sorry, Donald. You are unusual because you're both. You're a nerd and you're a human. If anything, we appreciate that about you. But the joke still has some meaning. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put Java in the first year, and usually if you fail, you repeat it, of course. So I failed that course once, but I just kept to it and I did that. Then the second semester, which is still in the first year, they put Java 2, which is like a harder Java.
Mm-hmm.
I failed that once, but I continued again, which led me here, which I finished. But I think they should have done like something like Python first, Python is really easy. So if you like Python first, you could have done Java a lot easier. But that was the reverse for me. I did Java first, then Python. So yeah.
So you're reflecting, like you're saying that's bad.
Yeah, they should have done easier subjects.
Enjoyable stuff to get people hooked and feeling it and
But yeah, and then
But talk to that point if you don't mind.
Yeah, that point.
When you're at high school between year 10 and 12, all that time when people subjects start to become a bit more coming up. So what are you doing? So you don't know what you're doing, where you're going, and blah, blah, blah. And this whole thing about, if you want to do this, you need these kind of marks. You only have 2 years to go to get these kind of marks. And that pressure starts to build up between 10 and 12, right?
Yeah.
Year 10 and 12, 3 years. Speak to that point, how if at any time when that discussion is had in a group of people with other students and other parents, how you felt you're swept in that momentum. You felt that, oh my God, I have to sometimes even maybe pretend that I know what I'm doing. You couldn't even say, still I don't know. Because what? Or something like, can you speak to that? Like, give us 3 examples.
So in year 11, we were all kind of asked to see what degree we want in uni.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So, say I said architect. They said, well, you need to up your grades because you're not going to get in, even though I do have the skills for it. And then, like, I see my peers, like classmates, I want to do engineering. They have the marks for it. They want to go to business. They have the marks for it. Some of them don't. But yeah, in the end, the ones that can do it and can get the marks kind of sweep us that our grades aren't that high yet into it. Then in the end, we're pressured to like change course that we want. Because architecture needs 95 or something. At my grades at that time, I was thinking around 80. Yeah, and then in the end, it just went downhill. Like the pressure came on, I couldn't do it. So then I just...
I'd like you to focus on psychologically. Share with us a situation where a conversation being had in a group, especially with other kids and teachers and parents, any of the above, where you felt that sort of inadequacy. I'm not good enough because I don't really know what I want. Or did you always know what you want? The architecture was for you. So you were in that group of people.
Yes, I knew I wanted it, but just because I couldn't get the marks, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that made you feel also a bit inadequate?
Yeah, because...
What's wrong with me? Why don't I...
The other decision, right?
Yeah, like why can't I do better in maths? Why can't I do better in English just to get those marks, even though those subjects don't relate to architecture? Which is the point.
So, right. So I guess two types in his case, Joe, because he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 kind of
situations,
negative feelings going on here. One is, what's wrong with me? Why couldn't I be that smart person? Because that's what they consider smart is, the school. Also, is that a fair society? Yeah. I know I can be a good architect. What kind of fair system is that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you talk to that?
Yeah, because like, say, I have skills for drawing, designing, all that stuff, but just because I'm not good at English, which has no relation to architects, I can't get in.
So you felt that's not fair?
Not fair in a sense, because a person has their own skills, but just because they don't have the marks in school, they can't do it.
You should be tested, or you should have a requirement to know the things that are required for an architecture degree. I mean,
exactly.
So you end up compromising doing IT.
Yeah.
My God.
I think there's like...
I mean, I'm glad we ended up with us. I think you have a huge potential. You're already seeing the positive feedback from the clients. Clearly, if you're not enjoying yourself, you wouldn't be doing that. But who knows? I mean, thanks for sharing. This is really interesting because maybe, in 3 years' time, maybe we can direct your career slightly different to be more suited in in terms of your skills now that you told me that you're not necessarily an IT nerd. That's really interesting. No wonder you've succeeded at dealing with clients and people. No wonder. Interesting.
Yeah. So
I learned something about you. So interesting. Yeah. All right. So now we talked about that pressure that year 10 to 12. To pick the course, to get on your way, to secure that now I know what I'm doing, I'm going to uni, etc. And we have two people here, amazing individuals. Both are doing fantastically well at their jobs in this company. One in sales and one in implementation team, technical implementation team, which is helping clients to succeed at the product, to adopt the product and start to use it. And one is explaining the products to potential customers and go through the sales process to help them to buy the product.
Yep.
One who doesn't have a degree.
Yep.
And one who does.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? Do you feel that sense of, speaking of inadequacy, you said before you regret it, etc. Do you feel that something is missing? Is there any reminders? Is there triggers where you go, damn, you feel a bit insecure because I'm talking to someone with a degree and I don't have a degree, or you don't? That doesn't happen.
No, I don't think I've really experienced that, to be honest. I think that most of the people I speak with on a day-to-day basis aren't in roles or positions that are, like, for example, brain surgeons or someone where they really do, you wouldn't be able to understand what they're talking about unless you have that degree.
I feel that our clients shouldn't be listening to this.
No, I mean, where they're bringing up like, career-specific things that I have no knowledge on. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't really had
the nature of the conversation. You're right.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Not the people, the conversations I'm having. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Conversation you need to have.
Yeah.
Doesn't. But then again, to your defense, Joe, I mean, look at what's happening now. To be honest, COVID was very interesting from this point of view of the point I was about to pitch to you guys to see what you think. I think COVID was interesting because we had to learn about it.
Yeah.
It was a medical situation, medical topic, a disease itself, and the fact that it's transmitted by air, but also by touch, by thing mostly, I think, or whatever it is. So that is the question you wanted to learn. Oh, how does it get transmitted? Oh, is it just another kind of type of virus like the flu? What kind of, is it virus? Is it bacteria? It's all that we had to research it. And you know what? We had plenty of time to research it. We weren't working. And guess what? The internet was around. Google was around. So that, 50 years ago, none of the above would have happened. It's like the perfect storm. People then started to learn about a medical topic.
Yeah.
And now start to build confidence. If I can learn about this, I can learn about anything. We started to feel and understand, first of all, that science is just another conversation, logical thing. You need this knowledge as the base. You build this knowledge on top of it, and this knowledge on top of it, this knowledge on top of it, and you can become as expert, vertically speaking, about a particular niche of a topic as you want.
Yeah.
Right? It's really, what is the difference? What is a scientist and not a scientist? The scientist is someone who spent 4 years about a topic.
Yep.
And I haven't. That is the only difference between us. I can become that by spending those 4 years if I wanted to. I think gave people a lot of confidence to do that. And so do you feel that that helped a little, like, in terms of, do you feel that you can research these if you want to?
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, for me, COVID was quite an extended bit of downtime, if let's put it that way. But I mean, I don't know. I can't really, if I was to agree with you, I'd be, I don't know the word, saving face or lying, I guess.
Sure.
But I understand where you're coming from for sure.
You haven't felt a need to do that yet.
No, not personally.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't have, whatever the case is. But yeah. But I definitely agree that is the case now, that people have realized we've got Google here. Why don't we actually use it and, learn about what's out there?
Yeah. Okay. So I guess back to your jobs. In your case, Donald, having that degree do you feel it gave you a decent start in this job, at least right now? Do you feel you've learned stuff from it that is really, really valuable, that you're seeing now the advantage of that in the job, on the job?
Honestly, it's like a half-half, 50-50. Because I first started in support. I need to work with WordPress, careers page for clients. So that helped from uni, the XML, HTML. Otherwise, a lot of stuff is just information that I don't really use here. And I believe I worked here without that experience. I still could have picked up HTML. So in a sense, it did help kickstart by a bit, but not too much.
Okay. So you believe you could have done this job without the degree?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What were your aspirations and dreams when you were in year 10? Forget about degree or not degree, or it could include a degree. For example, I remember clearly where I was growing up in a country where interesting opportunities are limited compared to here. It was entrepreneurial environment. I wasn't growing up in an environment where it's all government run. It was incredibly entrepreneurial, so you could create a business, blah, blah, blah. That's all great.
Maybe the resources weren't there as...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I guess the point therefore I'm trying to make, my dream is education was a bit of a status, but also a way to make money. I thought this is how you become successful. You have a degree, you become maybe a professor at uni or something. You have a beautiful car, 2 cars for this matter, and 3 houses, one at the beach and chalet in the mountains and a house somewhere in the city because of you're a professor or something.
Yeah.
Which is what's all wrong, by the way. It's all so utterly wrong. As a professor in Australia here, you could only be earning about 180, 250,000 max. That doesn't buy you 3 houses and 3 cars, right? So it's all I've discovered very, very soon that this is all wrong. But nevertheless, that was my aspiration dream. I want to be this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Scholar.
Exactly. Thank you. When someone is at uni, academic.
Okay.
An academic with 3 cars and 3 houses and that kind of lifestyle. Lifestyle was important for me.
Yeah.
But I thought academic is the only way to get there, with my limited knowledge at the time as a young person. But the lifestyle was really important for me. I've always wanted those 3 cars and 3 houses, right? What was your aspiration at that age? Did you know what you really wanted to become? What were you aspire to become as a successful person?
It's a good question. I mean, in year 10 was... I'm trying to think what year COVID happened, because I'm thinking in my head now that COVID was year 10 for me. And if that's the case,
that's
then
not great.
My aspirations were PlayStation and Uber Eats, so nothing too crazy. But I mean, I can agree to some extent with what you're saying.
The wrong podcast. It's not that the Comedy Central podcast. Sorry, John. Joke. Keep going. That is so true.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Kind of stumped me for a year. I felt like I didn't age for a year, but everyone, I guess, has aspirations, and myself included. You know, this car, want a nice house. You know,
1 car.
I can't remember, to be honest.
What kind of house? Apartment, big backyard, in the mountains?
A house with a lot of space. I like that. Either a house with a lot of space.
3-4 bedroom house.
Yeah, something like that. But by space, I mean on a piece of land as well. But, you know, either that or something near the water, something like that. I mean, it's very cliche. You can't, I mean...
No.
It's nothing unique, but...
No, that's not the point. It's all good.
Yeah, there was nothing that was...
But you had
like,
that picture in your head.
But it wasn't that strong where it's like, I'm working towards this, you know, this is my... goal. I guess goal.
Okay. Still the PlayStation.
Yeah. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. Donald's a little bit older than me, so he could probably help.
How about you, Donald? At the year 10, 11, 12, when you start to go to build a career, get a degree because I want to be successful, what did success look like for you?
For me, it was definitely lifestyle as well, to your point. Because growing up, we weren't that wealthy. And to me, lifestyle where we're comfortable, get stuff we need, we don't need to wait to get something. That's success for me. Having a family, of course. A good house. I don't need it.
Some people call this fuck you money. What they mean by that is I've got money to be able to say, fuck you, I don't need you.
Yeah.
I don't need to put up with any bullshit. I'm not happy with my job. I'm not happy with this contract. I'm not happy with this guy. I'm not happy with this partner.
Yeah.
So fuck you and walk out. I've got money in the bank to be able to always live and eat.
Yeah.
Some people call it, I don't need to care how much the bill is when I'm in any restaurant. I just order whatever I want to order. I know I'm going to be able to pay for it.
Not have to bring up the banking app on your phone and check that kind of thing, right? You know, just straight away.
Transfer from the checking account to the saving account.
Yeah.
Call a friend to shout you $100.
Yeah.
The
payment goes through.
Say to what's the excuse you tell the waiter to come back? What kind of excuses? Why you need 15 more minutes?
Oh, it's the 2 business days because of the transaction times.
Okay. I've transferred from saving to the check. I'm sorry, it's going to take 2 business days. I can write you a check if you like. Oh, I'll come back in 2 days. Okay, but that kind of thing, you had that in mind. That was one of the things I want to be able to be comfortable enough not to worry about which restaurant I can afford. Just tell us a little bit, what kind of picture did it look like? What that picture looked like for you to be a successful person in your mid to late 20s?
So pretty much having fucking money, being able to buy stuff, like also providing for my parents so they're comfortable as well. They can retire a bit earlier, maybe get it off their house debts or whatever. And as long as we're all comfortable, that's what I see success as.
You wanted to help your family paying the
house loan, sorry.
The loan, the mortgage.
Mortgage, yeah.
When you say your family, your mum and dad, family. Wow, that is really noble of you. That's really nice.
Yeah, because I know what they've gone through to raise me and what they had to sacrifice for.
So that was one of your motivation to be successful, to help your family. Did you have any of that?
Yeah, I mean, now I just sound like I'm making it up as I go.
No, you don't.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, there wasn't, as I said, anything that was that strong there, but of course I wanted that.
I'm not going to tell your dad.
Yeah, no, please don't.
He's not going to watch the show.
Yeah, please don't. Okay. No, but of course that one is there, especially at that age, to be able to, buy what you want, do what you want, not have to worry about money. Yeah, like, let's say you're out in public and you want to go buy something for yourself, not having to be like, oh, I'll keep that in mind and come and get it next week when I get paid, or, you know, when the money's right to be able to go and do that for myself.
Or wait for Boxing Day.
100%, yeah, to just go and be able to do that. So I do agree with that now that Donald said that. That is something I've always wanted, is to have that freedom financially, to be able to, you know, make my own decisions, do what I want, have fun with my life, and not have that anxiety about if it's going to break the bank or not. Yeah.
How about travel? Was that part of the picture? Was travel something that, or is it just initially that house and the car and a bit of a freedom to do things? Was travel part of that?
Definitely, because I do want to explore the world as well during leave or something. But yeah, because I haven't gone to like US or Europe yet because the cost is that much. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of Asian countries I've been to because it's not that expensive.
Yeah. Don't go to US now. Wait for the next election cycle. That's when the fun happens, right? Just a couple months before the election. And bring Eddie with you. Eddie would love to do that as well.
Come over.
Okay. Joe.
Yeah.
The traveling was part of the picture for you.
It's something I've been thinking about recently, actually, which is funny we bring it up. But I feel like I didn't have people, like, where I went to school, there was no real talk of, hey, after school, let's all do a big lads trip and go abroad.
Yeah.
So I didn't even really think that was a thing until I, you know, maybe started this job and started speaking to colleagues and whatnot. Oh, what are your plans for travel? Oh, what are my plans for travel? I didn't think I was traveling. That's a good idea. So now I've actually started thinking about it. So I didn't really have much aspiration to leave Australia and stuff like that after school. So
what is the number one advice that you would give to someone who's in year 10 right now? Some of the mistakes you've made in 10, 11, 12 in either of those 3 years, for them to say one single advice you have. It shouldn't be more than 5 words, as a matter of fact. Don't do blah. What would that be?
Shut up and listen. That's it. That's all you need.
Wow.
Because if you think about it, if you listen, your teacher will tell you how to do your work. If you listen, the teacher will tell you when you need to do your work. Everything's laid out for you in school. Thinking about it now, to go back and write, 300 words for an assignment? Are you serious? I could do that for work now in like an hour. and I was taking months to do something like that for some assignment when I could have had months to be refining something like that. If I just listened and took the teacher's advice seriously, then there would have been no issues. I mean, exams are different, right? Because,
This is unbelievable. I could finish this podcast right now and knowing that I have learned from what he said, let alone people listening to this. This is so powerful. Coming from someone who was a rebel, I know that for a fact, right?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. But yeah, I mean, just shut up and listen. Like, being given advice and not questioning things, actually taking time to sit back and think about it, just really, there's not really much more to it, to be honest. That's it.
How about yourself, man? One single advice that you have to give to someone in either year 10, 11, or 12.
If I miss the 5 words, it will be, there is always a way.
Yeah.
But if it's longer, there's always a way, because outside of school, there's different options that always exist.
Yes.
I'm sorry, elaborate on that.
Because even if you don't do well in school,
Always.
outside of school.
Always.
Don't stress too much.
Exactly.
Donald could have probably got into his course if he decided he wanted to do that now.
Yeah.
Just because he waited 2 years.
Or if anything, he just said he could have gone into this job without it. And I know that for a fact.
100%, yeah.
Had he come to us with his nice attitude and respectful communications and what he represents while we hired him, we didn't hire him because of a degree. I didn't ask you, tell me what you studied at uni. Did I ask you that question? I don't think
You did.
I did? I would not have cared what you said.
But I think your point is that it wasn't what made you hired.
No.
Everyone asks for, experience or education, but it's not what really makes the difference.
Okay, let's talk about that now that we started talking about the career.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, by the way, the advice stuff. Wow, both of you, very, very powerful stuff. Wow. Okay, so speaking about your roles, I know you're both new in it. None of you is an expert at the topic. You're just starting out. That's what why we're doing this interview, because we want people starting out. So someone speaking about an interview, and sorry, what was funny?
I don't know. I just saw Donald in my review. Sorry.
We're like teeth in a pot.
This is fun doing 2 people instead of one. Yeah. So like, what is it that you learned? See, we know, as I said, you're just starting out, but this is why this advice is interesting, because young people want to learn from you, not from someone who's been doing this job for 40 years. Well, they do want to learn from those as well. It's just different angle.
It's more relatable.
Yes. It's just different angle, different take on the whole thing. But you're right, relatable is definitely one of it. So what is the advice, let's start with you in sales. Do you love what you do?
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah. I can see myself I'm very lucky that I found what I wanted to do as soon as I started doing it. But yeah, I can see myself doing this for a very long time. Yeah.
So do you recommend it to young people?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Why? 3 reasons.
You create your own success. You can't rely on anyone else for it. Yes, you can to an extent, but it's not like, it's a job where you essentially choose how successful you want to be. Obviously, you have pressure from management or whoever is, leading that team to succeed, as it's still a business. But you can either choose to be, he's part of the furniture here, he does what he needs to do, or you can say, hold on, I really want to do something with my life, financial wise, and really give it your all. And
so you're referring to,
successful
for those young people listening,
yeah,
you're saying because I'm capped. Maybe do you want to explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, so
is that you can really be earning 150 grand or $500,000 or $1 million.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so with business development roles or sales roles, there's most of the time commission which is attached to that role. So obviously, the more business you generate, the develop and
do you know that this is not the case for all of them? In this company, it's uncapped. That's the word.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't always the case.
Yes,
yeah.
In many companies, it's capped. You can only get up to 220 from there. That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, even with that, you can be at that base salary, or you can push yourself and really get yourself those rewards for your hard work. And I think that's great for those people that want to, people that are sort of more independent. they kind of don't see themselves, oh, I want to open my own business, or I want to do this or do that. And, you know, I think it's great to really create your own destiny and really, do what you
be in an environment where it's uncapped. You can work hard and earn more. The more harder you work, the more focused you are, smarter you are.
For sure.
So smarter and harder, you could actually earn more money. You find that attractive.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that for sure. And I think just the nature of it as well, being able to speak to different people on a daily basis. For me personally, it taught me how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, which is something that I've been trying to work on for the past year myself, is being able to sit in an uncomfortable situation or have that uncomfortable conversation with someone and come out the other end, not cracking and feeling like you've done what you needed to do and things are, you know, sorted out and whatever the case is.
I call that round one.
Round one?
In a fight.
What do you mean?
If that conversation would be uncomfortable, you didn't feel you've achieved everything from it. It's for you to have that knowledge that you go, I don't have to win the fight right now. Let me It's only one round. It's okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll say, look, we said what we need to say there. Not now. Thank you for that feedback. Let me come back to you. It's just one round.
Yeah.
And you process, you talk to people, and you come back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's relevant. Forgive me, but I felt.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very relevant. I mean, if you want to do a use case, then or a real life example, then yeah, that is very relevant.
How about yourself, man? So the role that you're in right now is part of the implementation team. So you're implementation professional. You help client to learn and adopt our software, right? Do you recommend that role to someone starting out as their first role in the tech industry? Mm-hmm. They could be developers, they could be in support, they could be in the client success team, which is where you are, implementation, client success, or they could be in sales or marketing. Would you recommend that role, and why? 3 things why you think this is a good role for a fresh person into the industry.
I think I definitely recommend this role because, in a sense, this role makes you deal with clients. The first thing is relationship with clients and people talking. So you develop that, be able to guide around them. And then the other one is patience. Teaching clients takes patience. Develops your patience as well, which is long-term very good.
Yeah.
Especially when you have kids or in the future, whatever.
Dogs.
Yeah.
He's got 2 dogs, this guy. That's why I've said that, guys. Yeah.
Third one. Ooh, that's tough. So patience is key.
Developing your skills.
Skills development?
Yeah.
Skill development is good as well.
What kind of skills? What skills?
Skills, learning systems one, but nothing is because we delve into integrations as well and talking with IT teams. So you learn those IT jargon. It's good if you want to delve more into development or software stuff.
Yeah, okay. So you do recommend it.
I do recommend it.
And any cons to it? What's the negative aspects, compared to those other 4 roles I talked about before? Sales, marketing, developers, versus this working with the clients to learn about the system and adopt it. What are the cons to that job? What's the negatives from doing that job? What do you hate about it?
There aren't really negatives, but I guess the one negative I can think of is like the time frame. Some clients dedicate their life to it, and we can get done 3-4 weeks, 2 sometimes. Some of them take a long time to respond to do their work to do. That's why it kind of extends a lot longer. Could be months. And it's a bit frustrating because they're just always there. We can't get them to do the work. It's a bit hard. So like we can't.
It's almost like you have to rely on another party to kind of help you complete the job you're trying to do, right?
Yeah, you can teach a man to fish, but they might not fish.
That's a good metaphor, yeah.
You can take the horse to the river,
but they won't drink.
Maybe it doesn't want to drink.
Yeah, you can't make them drink. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So any negatives to your job? What are the 2 negatives in a sales role?
I'd say the main one, and anyone can agree with this who's been in a sales role or is in a sales role, is rejection. Rejection is a massive part of my everyday life when it comes to those busy periods in the year where you're picking up your business development and all of that. Yeah, learning to deal with rejection when I first started was very tough for me because I think, along with a lot of other people, when someone's not exactly the nicest to you over the phone and they don't even, maybe know why you're calling them, or maybe they don't know who you are, you're genuinely trying to have a conversation with someone about something and they shut you down and don't let you even have the chance to speak, it can be very hurtful, like in those early stages. But then you start to kind of realize that, everyone's going through their own thing, maybe something, they've had a bad day or this and that. So you learn to adapt and deal with it. So I'd say that's the only main thing.
I mean, that's incredible if you can, from what you just said.
Yeah.
That, to me, is almost a plus, if I may explain.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say there aren't really any negatives, because it's the only way you can have a negative in your role as a salesperson is, one, you're in the wrong organization, or two, you're not doing enough in your role.
No, I genuinely wasn't trying to undermine your point. It is definitely tough, but saying, if that experience makes you realize that if someone is rude to me, has no reflection on me, maybe they're going through something bad. It is so good in life. On the train, someone could be looking at you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. On the train, as a young person, especially who's still fresh to the world, from being completely protected by their parents till the age of, I don't know what else, they start to go a little bit on their own as teenagers with their friends on the train or whatever. You're still new in the world on your own. You might be, when someone is rude to you and stuff, you take it very personal.
Yeah.
And you think, what's wrong with me? Why did they say that to me, etc.? If this experience is going to help you to realize that it's not my fault why someone is rude, it's going to reflect on you as a human being in your life, with your friends, with your partners, with your parents, with your everywhere, to become a more rounded and what's the word I'm looking for? As a person, adjusted.
Okay, yeah.
A rounded and adjusted person. So that's really incredible. Yes, it's tough. I'm not undermining your point. Clearly, for a while at least, probably it will always continue to become a bit tough. That if you become, how to deal with it, I guess it's going to make you more well-adjusted.
100%. Yeah.
Which is probably the most powerful thing. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. I mean, what is success? Success is about being adjusted. And what I mean by that, because adjusted, that means you have a peaceful relationship in your personal life and in your work with your colleagues and with your clients and stuff. I mean, life's going to be so much more peaceful and meaningful when you're well adjusted. Yeah. When you remove those insecurities, those triggers that take you back to maybe things that are traumas or whatever in your early childhoods or whatever, those triggers that take you back to these moments and create tension with other people and stuff, and in conversations and anxieties. You can, if this is going to help you to deal with those maybe quicker and all that, it's probably the best thing that you can do.
Yeah. I think I can remember specific moments, like when I first started, that were really like put me off, like ruined my day almost, And now I feel like with anything in life, I almost look at it, if someone's unhappy or angry with me or something, it's almost like you almost feel bad for them, You want to understand why or see what.
This is incredible.
It's taught me so much of that. Like I can think of, comparisons to when I was younger as opposed to now, with situations I've been in where it's like, I would have reacted completely differently maybe 2 years ago. I would have taken something personally and been that grumpy person back to them. And now I can just look past it. Yeah.
So really at high level, we'll come to you, Donald, but at high level, what we're learning here, really, you can say, at least in this company, but probably across the world, across any role, any job, any industry, there's probably at high level 2 categories. You've got the technical knowledge, whatever that is, whether you're using a chisel to do some kind of labor work, or whether you're programming. There's the technical work, and you've got the communication skills.
Yeah.
That's at high level. Everything comes down to these 2 categories, right? Every single skill can be tagged with either one of these 2 categories. In your role, there's an element of both as well. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. Because I have to liaise with clients and then sometimes speak with the developers. That's why there's like 2 categories into one. Yeah.
Interesting. Which one do you enjoy more?
Tough to say. I do like communication, I don't enjoy coding that much. The one I don't mind is Python and HTML. That's okay.
You enjoy talking to people?
Yeah, I enjoy talking to people.
You've always been like that?
I think it's a skill I developed was back in a couple of years back when I worked in in sales. I had to talk to customers, develop that skill. Over time, I got better. And I remember first time I started implementation, doing my own meetings. I was like sweating, nervous, all that. Over time, I'm like, they're just people. They're like friends if you treat them that way.
Yeah.
And just goes well.
That's incredible that you went through that journey. I didn't even know. That's amazing. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, because people skill is very important, I think, in life. Outside of work, if you want to make new friends, you need that people skills. You want to order stuff, make people skills like talk, try to get the price lower, whatever it is. All that stuff. People skills is very important, I think. That's like the one top skill I think people need to develop.
That's incredible.
And that's not taught at school.
Right.
I've learned so much personally. People skills, adding to his point. Like even ordering food on a weekend or something, like being able to literally just go, I have to call them. But now it's like, can I call them? Can you send me the number so I can call them and sort it out? You know what I mean? There's no I feel like I've lost that fear of the phone now. It's almost like I want to call people just to sort it out quickly, like whatever I'm trying to do, whether it's make an order, whatever it is. But
I'm really proud of both of you guys. That's seriously incredible. This transformation that you're just talking about this sort of anxiety, I guess. I don't know the scientific word to explain. I'm not a psychologist, but let's just call it anxiety of having to be in confrontational situations with people. You would rather avoid it at all costs. Now you're more comfortable to be in those situations and know how to handle them and come out without anything negative, hopefully be able to,
for sure,
create a positive outcome for both parties, etc. It's invaluable skills, right? You gotta have it.
Definitely.
Yeah. See, those apps that require no human interactions are built by nerds because that's what they want.
Yeah.
Anything they avoid,
Exactly. I want my dinner to come to my desk.
That's it. Automate it.
That's why we're going to have an option in there of how would you like your food to be delivered? Leave it at the door. No, knock on the door 3 times. No, open the door, bring it to the desk, don't look at me and leave.
Save any questions. That's it.
Don't even look at me. You're not allowed to look at me when you drop the food. I'm going to be looking at my desk like that, down, and you're going to put the food at the table and leave. If it was up to the nerd, they would develop the app to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Interesting.
And just for people watching as well, you have to give them a bit of background. Maybe they don't know about your background. They might think you're being a bit rude to some of the nerds out there. So,
yeah.
I wanted to let people know that we don't have a nerd hater on the table here. We're
all nerds.
I'm a nerd.
I'm a nerd. I would use this app. Yeah. So you guys probably you would have been quite young when that movie WALL-E, is it WALL-E the robot?
Trash robot, yeah.
You would have been probably 4 or 5 when it came out.
Well, I don't know.
How old do you think you would have been?
2 years older than Joe. 6.
Yeah. Do you remember when it came out?
I don't remember the year, but I still remember the movie.
You're quite young, yeah. Yeah. Do you remember one of the things that is really, really interesting that I think that movie was powerful at? Remember the people that were
on the cruise ship,
just sitting on their chair all day, the food delivered to them, the drinks, they don't need to move. I mean, this is the fear that it could become our culture.
It basically.
Yeah, with the Uber. I mean, do you remember those, what do you call them? The things that fly with the
drones.
Drones, thank you. Drone could bring your food through the window on the table.
Seen some videos on that.
And even the drone could become now, they stand up they transform like a transformer, become like a robot to open the thing for you, connect the straw in the food, put it in your mouth, and you're still playing PlayStation while the robot is doing that.
Well, we're almost there. I mean, if you go on a cruise ship that you order a drink from one of the people walking around, you can just sit in a sunbed, getting all the sunlight, and they just bring you your food, your drinks, whatever you want.
It's just they don't put the straw in your mouth.
No, that's the one step when.
But you pay them $1 more or tip, they do that.
Yeah.
Right. And you could be playing PlayStation, you don't even see them or notice them, saying, "Don't look at me." Like, play.
I mean, our whole world is automated now. If you really,
Yeah, I mean, is that good? Is that bad? What is that? I mean, I don't do that. I don't play PlayStation. You both do? You play games? Oh, you
I play on the
enjoy
computer.
those. Huh?
I play on the computer. I'm not a console player. It's a computer.
he does.
Yes.
Okay, is this about the same
Walk around
kind of
with-
concept?
Yeah.
All right. I trust. So what is this? Is that good or bad? Some people say there's pros from playing games.
Yeah.
It actually teaches you something. I don't remember what it was.
Cognition and hand-eye coordination in a mental cognition, I guess.
Something about I can't remember of her. But can you cite any negatives to it? Do you feel that yourselves that you know that you're doing something wrong, but you go, "Damn, I'll deal with it later. I'm okay still now." Do you feel there's something negative about it? I don't know, addiction or something. I don't know. I can't talk about it.
Addiction is definitely one towards the younger ones. I've learned to use it as a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't put my focus into it, leave everything else. I get my chores done, feed the dogs, get my work done, and I'll play at the end of the day when I have time. So yeah, that's like a side quest. My main quest is still getting work done, get progress on
Side quest and main quest. I like that. I'm going to use this.
I believe you just said that.
It's going to be part of performance review with you guys. Here's your main quest. Here's your side quest. Okay. Your side.
No, I agree with Donald, though. I think when I was younger, everything was a negative about it. Now, I can't find a negative about it because I have structure to my life now, and I'm not, I can't avoid my job, right? I don't want to avoid my job, but I can't. Like with school, you can, I'll stay up late, won't study for the test, play games with my mates, and then maybe pass on the test tomorrow. But now, to me, video games is it's just something to come home and switch off, something to balance my time, have some time to relax, and yeah.
I think it's good as well, if you play with your friends,
Yeah.
because you won't meet them every night. Interaction with your friends, playing games, de-stress as well.
Yeah.
You can have a side quest conversation
Yeah, exactly.
with them about other things while you're playing. Okay. How's the dog going? How's the girlfriend going? How's the date going? How's the bloke going? Oh, died. Because I used to overhear Joe doing that. Okay. All right. Very good. Guys, I learned things about you. I learned things about what young people in year 10, 12, 11, 12 go through, especially during that phase of having to choose uni and stuff like that. Is there one thing you still want to say, because I want to end this podcast, one thing either of you want to say as a conclusion about your experiences now coming from year 10 all the way until now you've completed your first year or maybe almost two in a professional job now, as opposed to a kind of sidekick or a the McDonald's kind of jobs. Is it one thing you want to, that young person that might be watching, you want to say to them?
I think from my experience, I'd say just put your head down and do your best. I think you can't go wrong with making the most of the time you've got. You're in school, you might as well, even if you don't like it, just have a go. In the grand scheme of things, an hour of work every night for a week for a project or something you're working on is nothing compared to the rest of the time that you have after school, to have those options.
Thank you, Joe. Donald?
Pretty much don't rush and don't stress.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't do well in school, there's always other pathways out there. TAFE, internships, all that. In Australia, you'll always succeed if you try.
In Australia, but other countries, they might not have those opportunities, yeah? So maybe they need to work perhaps hard on.
Well, I mean, we can't speak for them. Yeah, we can't.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're up there, right.
We don't really know, yeah.
Guys, you should be on this.
I was going to say we should do another interview where we interview you.
I think you should. You've proven each of you is 10 times smarter than me. I'm really grateful, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for opening up. I'm immensely grateful. Thank you for having us. Talk to you later.
Cheers.
Bye. Easy. Cheers.